So let's begin. So today the main topic is just explanation of why do we need Docker. So Docker is some kind of we known as a container. But why do we need Docker? So to understand Docker, you have to understand my computer and your computer is the environment is different. Example, I compiled some kind of file. Example, if this is like file here, I compiled my file, and if I trying to put this compiled file in your computer, it's gonna be some kind of issue of it. So today, it's just kind of explanation about why is it different, why we need Docker. To understand it, you have to understand like how the house processor works. The processor or your CPU actually reads the code by line. What do you mean by line? There's no concurrent reading of it. There's a bunch of the assembly code, move whatever stuff, move A1 whatever stuff. So you're when you're trying to compile when you're trying to learn the program is actually the means that there's program is actually means that it's just the bunch of instructions, and those instructions is it's just like set of assembly code with some kind of action. So I think this is really important because if you're trying to compile your C, it will simply change into assembly friendly code, and based on that it will just compile of it. Of course, your assembly code, example move or push, pop, those kind of thing is actually action of the assembly code, and also known as OP code. So those kind of thing is, and it's actually declared as a table that this move is the bytecode is some kind of 0xb whatever stuff. So those kind of thing actually declared as a bytecode, but only for your own specific computer architecture. Is x86. The table of your OP code is different. The value is different, and then ARM. So I think that's kind of really difference of it. Your x86 ARM is different because the those kind of thing. That is really called as a ISA, instruction set architecture. The original, and based on that, x86 have different ISA and ARM have different ISA, and your MIPS has different ISA. If you compile it, there's gonna be different of it, and your operating system is basically wrapping this x86 your computer architecture and doing virtualization of it and doing whatever stuff to make it optimizable. So to back again, your operating system is basically like wrapping your computer architecture, and your computer architecture has different ISA, and so if you compile the same instruction, it will eventually have different value of it. But so there's an issue of it. If you're trying to run your server, but in your local is working, but in your other computer is not gonna be working because your compile file is different with the different value of it. What you have to do is you can virtualize it, your operating system. So that's also called as a container, virtualization of your operating system. And virtual machine is the virtualization of your computer architecture. There's two differences of it. So the container, and so the reason why we use Docker is seems like this kind of problem of it. Since when we're trying to compile it, there should be issue of it because we have different ISA. We can, and there's x64 60 and whatever stuff. Even there's the processor can read per byte. So there's kind of a difference of it. This is why we have to think about the Docker and why we have to use the Docker of it. And if you look at closely, the Docker uses Linux kernel and to manipulate of it. So the process, so there's seems like the process similar in the Docker, and it gives the process that you want to do in here. So it's just like the virtualization operating system. So that's kind of really the description of Docker. So this is why we need Docker thing. So I think this is it. Have a nice day next time. Bye bye.